reading just the top on number Samach Bet. Incidentally, I ordered new Sfarim, new books. I got this thing where I'm learning the Ochos Chaim with the Tiva Kavanos, and they came out with a new version, and the Sfarim Center doesn't have the new version, but one of a guy that I was learning with a little bit, he got a new version from Beagle-Eisen. He's related to the Beagle-Eisens, and so I called the Beagle-Eisen, and Beagle-Eisen has the new ones. Right? They're not cheap, but I got them. And then while he was at it, he says, there's a new Hanukkah out too, and there's also a new Purim. So we're supposed to get both of those. So let's see what happens. He's sending it UPS. I don't know. It could be like 2 days. So we'll make it. Yeah. So let's see how that works out. It will be a lot easier for us. I know. So number Samach Beis, he continues on with the word Hinei. And Nochi Ba, so this is part of the Rashash Siddur now. We're looking at it. Hinei Nochi Ba L'Kaim Mitzvahs Adlakas Ner Chanukah L'Sakein as Shar Shebamakom Elyon B'hi Ratzon V'Fanecha Hashem Elokeinu V'Eloseinu Elokei Atzvakois Shebekoich Skulas Adlakas Haneres Halalu Yiyu L'Ma'oros, that they will be for what? For lamps or for illuminations. Shalosha Yehudim, which was going to come through these 3 Yehudim Bezum, and he put them together, the Olak Misper Ner. So what we'll do is, I think that what I would like to do is go through these and then pick up number Yud Aleph and Yud Beis and Yud Gimel down below, and we'll move it through like that. So first thing he says, he says, well, he has, this is called, I don't know, is it called Tefillas L'Shem Yichud? Is that what it's called? I don't know, because he has it in the previous page. Then he shows you the 3 Shaluvim, which have a gematria of 250. Then he said, V'hoya l'ma'oros b'malchus shemayim shlosha shemos, and then they should become like lights, lamps, b'malchus shemayim, Shlosha Shemos, and then delivering these 3 names. Now, these are Asam. And then it says, just I'll read it down a little bit, Im Ben Matzta law, the Ben, I don't know what Matzta means, fortify it, and then he shows you Ben. Let's just do those 2, number Yud Aleph, they're not big. He says, number Yud Aleph says, V'hoyu l'ma'oros b'malchus shemayim shlosha shemos asam. Hakavona b'chadlokahi. So this now, I think it's tomorrow night. He says the kavona b'chadlokahi. You're about to light the lights. Shahidech hadloka nimshachim shemos asam. So what does hadloka do for you? It brings down these 3 names, which we have up here in number Yud Aleph, Av, Sag, and Ma. So he says, Av Sagma, Min Hazah El Hanuk, and the idea is we're bringing this from Zer Anpin. So first of all, we have this Nair up above it, and then it goes to Av Sag Anuk. Yeah, I think we're okay. V'zecha v'nirmez b'tevis lahadlik. Hadlik has a gematria of 179, plus the kolel, she'ima kolel, olech b'mizper Av Sagma, which is 180. So what we're doing is we're saying this hadloka itself, mamshichin shemos al psag ma el hanuk. It brings those down to hanuk. Number Yud Beis, he says, im ben amatzda law Yud K Vav K. So he says hamalchus hamekubelas es hashemos, and the malchus which receives these names, av saguma, nikros shem ben. Or Malitzis a Lashon, so how they interpret it, they explain the Lashon, who mepasuk v'al ben amatzaloch, and on the sun, I guess it means I will fortify you. So what exactly that is? So they're bringing this down, which into Ben, and I guess the idea is that Ben is coming, which is Malchus, is going to be fortified by this is part of the Kavana. When you light the lights, that you're bringing in these mochin into Malchus. Number Yud Gimel, then he said, V'laha'ira Golas hakoteres dezer anpin. I looked up the word golas. It seems to mean bases or basins. Must be cups or something like that. The golas hakoteres, the golas to light on to the very top of the koteres, the zer anpin, to shine these names into zer anpin. This seems like it's preliminary to going to Malchus. He says that you're going to take Av and Kasa and shine that into zer anpin. Exactly what is he saying here? So he says, for Lahayir Gola number Yud Gimel down below, Lahayir Gola Zakateris, the zer anpin Av Kasa, and he shows you what Av Kasa looks like. So he says, Od Mamshichim al Yedera Hadloka. So there we're starting to stream through this Hadloka. Shemos Av Kasam is Zer Anpin. Those two names, they're going to come from Zer Anpin, Lanuk. So all of this is going on as you're saying the word Lahadlik. V'kora Lechem Gola. So they're called basins or receptacles, I guess. So Koteres Golas of the Koteres, what is the very top? The Lashon of Pasav, V'golas HaKoteres, Asher al Rosh Ha'amadim, which is like apparently on the top of the pillars. Somebody's describing something. He's describing over there in Malachim. V'chamshacha zuhu mekuvana b'shem chavaya shal bracha rishona. So this is all that you're thinking about on the chavaya Yud-Kei Vav-Kei when you say the first bracha. Then we'll go up to the top again, and it says, Tzedek yikru'uhu l'raglo. So Tzedek yikru'uhu l'raglo. Let me read this paragraph, and then we'll come back and we'll look at the Tiv. Tzedek yikru'uhu l'raglo. So Tzedek is just Lashon Malchus. Let's say yikru'uhu l'raglo, what we call it, for his feet. Now, what does that mean? Over b'shuk etzel pina. So passing through the shuk near the corner. What kipina means, I'm not sure here. Ulizeferis uzecha, and for the glory, I guess, the beauty of your strength. Yihya moshech lo mirachovas anachar, you're going to be able to cause it to stream, my word stream, lo mirachovas anachar, from the broad place of the river, which is what? Ima Eloah. The mirachovas anachar is another name, he says, for Ima Eloah. El HaMa'or HaGodol, to the great light, Sham, Nachal, so I guess it's HaGodol, Sham, I think it's Shem, Nachal, Hayotze Meroshe Tevis, Notzer Chesed Lo-Lofim. And then let's do number Yud Daled now. Let's go down below into Daled before we get to the formula he has here. So he says, number 14 says, Tzedek yikru'uhu l'raglo. So he says, what is this? What could this mean? Tzedek yikru'uhu l'raglo. They call his feet Tzedek. Lashon of Pasuk Yeshaya, and he says where it is. V'kavana ala malchus anikvat Tzedek. Ki yaducha b'tefillas Pasach Eliyahu. He says that Amakbalas as Shemos Av Kasa, which is now going to receive these two names of Ab and Kasa, and this Kala'el Ha'olam B'Mitzbarego. My question is that, how do you use this? How do we understand what's a Kavana? Over B'Shuk Etzel Pina. What's the Lashon HaPasuk and Mishlei? He said, V'Kavana Rabbamasha Amr Chazal B'Zman Ha'adloko Shehi Ad Shetichla Regel Minashuk. How long do you have until there's nobody, no feet? He's a Regel Minashuk. Nobody's walking around in the Shuk. Over Pirish Arizal, now what does this actually mean? Al Shemas Av Kasa. When you take Av and your Kasa together, Ha'olam B'Mitzvah Regel, they come to the count of Regel. So I'm always interested in this because in the Kriya Shema L'Lamita and other places, this word Regel pops up. And, I don't know what to do with it. And here he's talking about it. So he adds on to this. The mamshichin osam the malchus davka b'layla, so that the hamshacha into malchus has to come specifically at nighttime, because she read is the halamas atachtainim, which is the time that malchus is going down into the lower worlds. V'holomos hatachtonim nekroim shuk. So they call it regel min shuk. So how is it? So he says the olomos hatachtonim, which usually means malchus, but let's see what, I'm not sure exactly. So let's see what else he says. He said v'zera v'raja tichlo regel min shuk. V'zera remez kan b'melitzas haloshin. He's trying to help us out here with this language, or I guess the translational language. Shachamamochem yimshguch v'yadroch b'shuk etzel pina. So they should go through the shuk. Shuk is the lower world, could be malchus, until they reach the corner. Now, what exactly the corner is, I'm not sure yet. So now we're on number Tes Zion. Number Tes Zion, the Tiferes uzechu yihya moshech lo merachovus anahor ima iloh esam or hagodol shal shem nachol yotze berosh tebetz notzer chesed lofim. Now he talked about this previously, so we have a little bit of background on it. He said lahadlik ner Chanukah, in order to light the light of Chanukah, who rosh tebetz nachol. That phrase lahadlik ner Chanukah, the first letters are nachal. You mix them around, they become the word nachal. Now, I always thinking about what I'm trying to come up with an understanding of why we continuously using in Kavanos the Roshi Tevos and the Sofi Tevos. What does the Roshi Tevos? Why is that significant, or what's the significance of it? The only thing I could think about, that's what I really don't know, is that the Roshi Tevos, it could be like the Yom Shekulo, that everything in the first letters is contained in it. When you go to the Sofi Tevos, everything that's in all of the letters leading up to it is now, it's like a Malchus Dika thing. So that's the best I could come to try to understand how the Rav keeps taking the Roshi Tevos. So he explains, Lahadlik ner Chanukah, who Rosh Tevos Nachal. That phrase, Lahadlik ner Chanukah, actually gives a Rosh Tevos of Nachal. So he says, Shuhu Shem Kadosh Sheyotze B'Tevos Notzer Chesed Lelofim. So the first letters contain with them this Shem Kadosh. V'kavanas Hashem Hazera Nachal, Hu Hamshacha Me'ima Lezer Anpin. What does it actually mean? Nachal is a brook or a stream. So he says, Hu Hamshacha Me'ima Lezer Anpin. That's the concept when we talk about the Nachal. We need that in order to bring it into Zer Anpin. Kamoshe Mavor V'cholech is going to talk about it more. So as he's explaining this, the Lashon is Zer Anpin Tiferes. Zer Anpin is also known as Tiferes. He's also known as Zer Anpin Tiferes Uzecha, the beauty of your power. Midos Tiferes Kanaida. So therefore we say that Tiferes Uzecha. She's also known as Rechovos Hanahar. His Kiyidua Shuhu Kinui Shel Ima, which is another way of calling Ima, could be called Rechovos Hanahar. And why is that? Kamosha Kosev Arizal Be'etz Chaim, he said B'ki Yisod Bina, the Yisoded Bina, which is inside of Zer Anpin, who Rachov L'Ki Yosin the Keva, very broad is the nature of the fruit, the nikra of the female attribute, the nikra Rechovos Hanahar, and it's called by the name of Rechovos Hanahar. Now we're down to number Yud Zion. Olam Iskar. So what is this Nachal? Ha'ola Kamizbar Shem Ma Im Rivua Akia. Now what's this? This is getting a little bit more into something a little more complicated. He said, B'Shem HaKodesh Nachal Ola Peiches. It comes to the gematria of 88. She'ola Kamizbar B'Shem Ma. Okay, Ma is 45. In Rivua Ekia B'Socha, with a Rivua of Ekia inside of it. The Rivua of Ekia is 44. Rivua Shem Ekia, which we know from Pesach, it's the gematria of Tam. But not saying that here. Which is to say that when you have a Rivua, the Rivua is the concept of that Chitzonius of Ima coming in, becoming the Penimius of Zer Anpin. It's the transfer interface, the Rivua. So in the middle of this Havaya, the Havaya Ma, you have it, which is 45. you have a revua inside of it, which is 44. The sochel zer anpin to shoim b'chavayim b'milui alof and the olama. Pirush, and explains it. 1 second. Shemitoch ha'aleph shebemilui os vav, because there's an aleph inside of there. Shel shem havaya. Mitoch ha'aleph hazecha mispashet shem ekya berevua, and this is the interface between the chitzonius of iman and the penimius of zeranpen. Behind the kazan, he shows us the revua aleph k, and so on and so forth, and we'll see it up above. V'achakach choizer lekaven as havav shel shem havaya, v'nimsa shaham shachno, that we have caused the stream down, as ha'ara de imeri lo l'toch zer anpin, and now it's inside of zer anpin, and this power, this ability, is now coming from this revua of ima inside of it. Shuhu chavaya b'milui alof and kazeh, so he shows it to us yud vav dalek aleph, and then vav aleph, and then it starts the revua, and then it finishes up with the other vav and the k aleph. Now here we could see it up above. If we go up above and we look at number yud zayin, and right below it is the depiction of this is the nachal flowing into zeranpin. So which is a gematria. Well, we'll see. The gematria is 88 of nachal, and this is gematria 89. So now we're on number yud ches. Asher choye pi rosha b'sochel be'elef shebemilui dama. That's a difficult phrase to work out. He says asher choye pi rosha, the opening of its head. Over there, I looked it up, and over there it's referring to, I guess, a garment, like a poncho that's put over the head. Pi rosha b'sochel, inside of it. The elef shebemilui dama. It's in the aleph that is inside of the milui of the ma. Menachal, from this nachal, b'derek yishta al kol yarim, b'derek yishta al kol yarim rosh. So work that phrase out in the way of drinking all of those who lift up their head. V'hiyos lo koach, and so what does this actually mean? I'm reading down still through the regular print. V'hiyos lo koach v'hisyachet im nuk b'shloshi yichudim, and now, which is actually this nachal, which is coming in, brings the strength, the energy to be able to make the yichud that's coming up. So he says also, the stream of the nachal, hazeh, ha'olek misbar shem ben, so the place it's going to, I guess, is the ben. We'll see how that works out. Ima pasha the mole together, so the name ben, here we go, misbar ben. So he said, look, here's ben. Im ha-pasha the mole hashecha bekirbo, with the mole, here's the pasha, and the mole the mole, which in the pasha and the mole the mole of ben is 37 letters. So ben im ha-pasha the mole hashecha bekirbo b'mizmin leluya. So if you count the letters of the milui, there's 36 letters. Hemi ala sach nachal kazeh, so they come, if you add them up, at 52 and 36, comes out to be the sach of the gematria of nachal, which is 88. So let's see, this is actually 89. So let's see, I think it is. So let's go over here to number yud ches on the bottom. And number yud ches on the bottom says, asher choye pi roshu b'sochel. So the P, the opening of its head, is inside of it. Ba'aleph, inside of that aleph, shebemilui the ma, which takes place in the milui of ma, as we saw in the previous depiction. This one right here. And we go back over here, and let's see, that was a number yud tes, and it was menachol. So he says, he went on menachol b'derek yishta. What is that? Menachol b'derek yishta al kain yarim rosh. Lihiyos lo koach, so he's able to lift up his head, I guess, so to be receiver. Lihiyos lo koach lihisyachet al lenok. You need this nachal, which is the hadlik ner, comes from those three rosha tevos, to be able to bring energy for the purpose of making a yichud, b'shloshi yichudim anaz, for those three yichudim that we said before. So we're bringing them in, and you're making all those Yehudim. I guess he's saying that you have to have energy in order to make those Yehudim. So he says like there's a remez, B'lashon Pasuk, B'tehilim, so he says where it is, Menacho B'derek Yishtet. What does it say over there? This is referring to the Zer Anpin, Ashecha Menacho B'derech Yishtet. So from him, from this brook, or this stream, he's on the road, he's able to drink. He's going to drink from the streams on the road. And this is what it means, that he receives from Ima the name Nachal. Al Kain Yarim Rosh, so therefore he's going to lift up his head. The Hainu, what does you lift up the head mean? Shemekabel Ramas Rosh, he's being able to get from that, I guess, Haramas, I guess it means the high place of the head, the Koach, and he gets from that, the Koach, Lehisyached Imanok. So looking at this again, all of this Havaya and Ben combination is a Havaya that's coming out of this word, I guess, Lahadlik Ner Chanukah, is it bringing all of this flow, Gematria Nachal. It is a Gematria of Nachal. He says, Kibiroshas Atavis Lahadlik Ner Chanukah, Hu Shem Kadosh Nikra Nachal, Hayotze Merosha Tavis Notzer Chesed Alafim Kanaida. He repeats that. The Inyano, so what's going on here? Hu or hanimshach min ima lezer anpen. Kadei sheyiyah bo koach lehisyachid imo. So they'd had the strength to be able to make a yichud, begimach a yichudim and iskarim, shehem begematria ner. 1 second, let me see where this letter Vav is. So down below he has on the letter Vav, he said, Lahamshech lo meshach hanachal azeh. So we're reading the Shefa. So let me see if I can get it tuned a little bit better here. That's the best I could do. This flow, that the nachal coming from Zer Anpin himself, the hainu shem ma, which is Zer Anpin is ma, the Socha Shem Ekya B'Revua, which we said before, who Atzba Nimshach Lanuk. Now, what is he saying? He says that the Nachal itself goes into the Nook. Shuhu Mispar Shem Ben V'Lamed Zayin Osius, like we said before, Lefizah, Yesh the Kavin Beis Pamim. So therefore you have to have this Kavanah, he says twice. What's that mean? He says, so you have this idea twice. The Nachal is flowing 2 times. Shem Nachal Harishon, so he says, Echad lezer anpen ve'echad lenuk. So the nachol keeps going. So first we thought that it's bringing strength into zer anpen to be able to deliver these mochin. So he said, v'sidar rashash lo nirakain. But in the siddur rashash, it doesn't seem like you're using it twice. Because of the hamshech lenuk shefa b'zer anpen. So we're over there, he says that what you're supposed to do is bring into the nook shefa from zer anpen. Ushahanuk he mispar nachol, and we've said before she's nachol, kemispar shem ben, and also its own letters. And this is another rule that you can apparently combine the name itself, which is ben, with its letters. Letters is more malchusdik, really, but I'm not sure what exactly it comes out to be. So he says, or how he has rishus to use this and explain it to us. B'mispar shem b'ben v'lamed vav osius. Avachah v'lo kasa the kavein od pam, but it says that says 1 time. So you're supposed to bring it into Zeranpin. But it doesn't say shem amma v'rivua ekya amnam maloshin the tefillah, like in the language of the actual prayer. Kan nir davar chodesh lagamri. It's something completely new. What is that? Sha'anachal l'nimshak l'nuk hu hanachal d'shem ben v'lamed vav osius. It's that same nachal. Ve'enu klal hanachal or kolol hanachal shebezer anpin. It doesn't include the nachal that's in zer anpin. So what is it? Is it coming to zer anpin? Is it coming from zer anpin into the nuk? Kach nirech b'shutach b'chalosh, the pashas of the language, b'tzarach iyun. So maybe you can kind of press this or push this language. The Kavanos Meshach Anachol Hazeh Ala Nachal de Zer Anpin, the flow from Zer Anpin, Shuhu Oluk Misber Bain and Lamed Vav also. That is the nature of this Nachal. V'hayle Shabinok, Romez Gam came Misber Nachal, Aval Hamshachach Ki Anachal de Zer Anpin V'tzarach Iyun, but the Nachal is in Zer Anpin. You have to look at it more, and so he asked us to do that. Okay, let's see a little bit more. Okay. So now going back on the previous page, once again, he shows us the name Ben. And I tell you there's another Kabbalist here. I told you about this Israeli. Been living here. Yeah. So he pronounces it Ban. So we've been working. He's Sephardi, so he pronounces it Ban. We pronounce it Ben. So I'm getting all mixed up with that. So then he shows us the Havaya in the with its Milui and the Milui. The Milui, which comes out to be 37, that is the Nachal that's flowing. Now, we're reading up above again, and he says, V'skula shlosha esrei tevu shel habrachos. So now he says there are 13 different words in the bracha. Yisorder the b'shlosh esrei mechilin kadmoim, Kel, Rachum, V'chanim, etc., like that. Hakolim B'tikuna, which are Kululim, B'tikuna, so he shows it to us on the next page, on page Samach Zion. He shows it to us, and he says, the B'leil Rishon, Kadmoah, you say Kel, then the B'leil Sheni, you say Tinyana, which is the second, you take the second name of the second of the Midos, Rachum, and etc. He goes through all of them, and he shows that each night has a special midah that is coming along with it. And he said, L'hoyer v'l'hashpia b'malchus mibeis imas, in order to be able to shine, v'l'hashpia b'malchus into malchus, from the house of Ima, the tachta v'l'kashta, in order to be able to fix her up and adorn her. Now, exactly what all that means, I'm not sure about. How do we get to Ima coming, a direct relationship? We're talking about Dormita. What are we talking about here? Okay, we have like 2 minutes, and I'll read just a little bit of the Tiv. Number Kaf, are we on Kaf? Yeah, are we Kaf Aleph, I think. Kaf Aleph, yeah. He says, Usagula Shalosh Esrei Tevas Shal Abracha Yisorder the Yud Gimel Bechin Kademoim. What happens when you say there's 13 words, and the idea here is that you're also arousing the Mechilin, the Kademoim, I guess he means in the beard of Eric Anpin, Kael Rachu Maklulim Betikuna, which are also part of this, as you're getting a stream of a very high Penimis Dika light. Hine Shmonas Yimei Chanukah, Mamshika Aras Yud Gimel Dikuna Dikna. I'm not sure which dikna he's talking about. The Haila Shebekol Laila Mamshika Aras Tikun Echot, Uvalada Shmina Mamshichem as a Shisha Tikun Machronim, and the last night you bring in all the other. Shem Tikun Ches, Tes, Yud Aleph, Yud Beis, and Yud Gimel. V'amlam Yud Gimel Tikunim, these 13 Tikunim, Tikuni Dikna Nirmazin B'Yud Gimel Tevu Shel Birchos Abrachol L'Hadlik Ner Chanukah. So each one of them, he's saying, is bringing in a different shefa. So we're saying all the 13 words, but call Lila every single night. Now he's saying that every single night, all 13 are mushma, are implied in here. V'nimsa shebekol Lila maskirim as kol hayud gimel tikuni dikna. Every night, according to this, every night you say all 13. He wants to tell you that in each one of the tikkunim are another 13. Tikkunim bepratos in detail. And as you look at it more closely, you'll see that it has a pull-down tab, and there they are. So they're every night, therefore, we're having a kavana in the 13 different words that we're saying, each one of them. So 13 tables. Shechol Barachol the Kol Yud Gimel Tikunim Nechlala Betikun Hashayach L'Layla Hazeh. So now you Halayla Zos. Now have you all these flows that are coming down, and now we're saying that each night has one of the special midos I'm assuming he means of the zakan of Eric Anpin, tremendous panemius, and each one of them has a 13 inside of it. Shemavor v'cholech, as we're going to explain as we go on. Okay, that's I guess that's the first part. Thank you so much. All the best. Kol tuv.